was a very tense situation throughout the day because we thought we had an armed and dangerous felon that was on the loose. And it resulted in us closing and locking down many schools, and it was quite a bit of disruption to the community. But it was a great outcome and a great job that was accomplished by the Falmouth Police Department along with the Mass State Police. But I'll turn it over to these gentlemen now. They can give you some of the particulars. Also take some of your questions. As we speak, we're still processing folks. We're still getting ready to conduct search warrants. We got a lot of things going. It still is essentially in the preliminary stages. But go ahead. So, over to you guys.
As the chief said, at 12 past 10 this morning, the Falmouth Police Department received 911 calls reporting of gunshots at 56 Broken Bow. Officers responded, and one victim was found at the home, had been shot. Rescue was called. We had some description of suspects, and area cruisers starting to respond, started to do an area search. At 10:27, we put the school, the T-Ticket Elementary School, into lockdown because of the close proximity to the incident. At 10:33, one of the suspects, a 16-year-old male, was arrested on Homestead Lane here in Falmouth by officers responding to the call. The Mass State Police were notified, Mashpee Police was notified, and the Barnstable County Sheriff's Department were notified for canines. At 12:24, the Falmouth SRT, along with the Upper Cape XRT, were activated to assist with some search of some areas and homes that we were some interest in. Several places were searched through the day. Sometime around 13:15 in the afternoon, we got information of a sighting here on Spring Bars Road here in Falmouth. Officers searched that area along with the assistance of the State Police helicopter. And then around 13:15, we also put the Mullen Hall and the Lawrence School into lockdown because this is the area where the suspect was heading to. At 13:40 hours, officers ended up at 77 Gifford Street here in Falmouth, and at that point, the second suspect, along with some other individuals, were arrested without incident at that scene. At this time, we have both suspects are arrested and are being held. The main suspect, who is a Davante Fernandes, age 18, he's being held on $100,000. The juvenile's being held on $5,000. And we're working, as the chief said, with the Mass State Police, and we're in the process now of obtaining several search warrants for homes, one being where the shooting took place, and others where the suspects had been through the day. So that's where we are at this point.
And the scene's also being processed by the
Mass State Police will be doing the crime scene.
Do you have a motive here at all?
At this time,
I think it's very.
We're still investigating.
You know, the subjects I know they were interviewed somewhat today, but the investigation is still really pretty much preliminary. Even though arrests have been made, but we thought it was especially important because of the scope of this investigation, where it took us today, and the potential threat to the community. It's important to let them know that a lot of steps that were taken were very effective. As far as a motive, to be honest with you, we don't have that at this point. We do have a suspect, a shooter, and who is under arrest, and we have other folks that have been tied in with this thing and also placed under arrest, and that information has been given to you. So at this point, I'd have to say no.
Was the juvenile also a resident of that home?
Was a resident of the 56 Broken Bow? No.
And was this a domestic incident?
We're investigating that right now.
Did the 911 call come from inside the home?
Yes, I believe it did.
Do you know who placed that?
I don't know right at the moment.
Are they going to be releasing that call?
Not right at this time. We haven't reviewed them all.
And is the juvenile related to either the victim or the other suspect?
No.
Is there a history of trouble at this address?
At this point, I don't know.
And was the second suspect armed when arrested, or were there any guns on the premises?
He was not armed.
Has the firearm suspected in this been recovered?
That's why we're doing these search warrants.
So the 3 arrests at the second address, were those other 2 at the wrong place at the wrong time, or did they face charges? Were they just questioned and released? Or?
No, they're under arrest also.
So what are the charges of the 3 people?
Some of them had warrants, and others are, again, being interviewed at this point in time to see what their role may have been in the incident.
The juvenile's bail is significantly lower than the suspect himself. Do you believe that he was involved to a lesser extent in all of this?
We're still investigating that.
Is there any drug motive involved?
I don't believe so, but we're still investigating that. We still have officers at the scene. We're still doing interviews. Right now, there are interviews being conducted.
But you believe you have everybody in custody that's out there?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that we believe. Yeah. Again, our main concern in the beginning was that we knew that we had two suspects that had fled from that address, and were supposedly or possibly armed, and obviously dangerous, because they were involved, and we knew that at that point that they were involved in the incident, in the shooting. So that's the premise that we operated on, and we did throughout the search this afternoon. We had our special response team, the Upper Cape Special Response Team, the STOP team from the state police was also here to assist us should we have needed them. We knew we were going to several different houses because of, again, information and knowledge that we had, prior to this incident. But we knew some of the folks involved. So it all was very complex, but it started to come together, and there was a lot of possibilities of where this person could be. And because of that information, we were successful in apprehending him today. If we didn't have access, if we didn't have that ability because of past cases and past information that our detectives had developed, we'd still be out there looking for him. So that has worked out quite well.
And
So-
how old is this boy, this juvenile?
16.
But the people involved in this are known to you through various other incidents.
I think all of them are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And were you able to speak with the victim? Was he conscious? Was he able to communicate at all? Or?
No, the victim's up in Boston.
Yep.
Were any of the 3 suspects arrested at the Gifford Street house, were any of them residents of that house?
We believe one of them belonged in that home.
So there's a total of 4 people under arrest, including the 2 that you've talked about today.
Total of 5 people. Four arrested at the Gifford Street home, one of them being the suspect in the shooting on Broken Bow, and the 5th one was arrested on Homestead Lane shortly after the shooting.
And that's the juvenile?
That's the
Yeah,
juvenile.
and that was first thing this morning, the juvenile.
Do you know what caliber gun, what type of gun was used in the shooting?
We're still looking into that.
You know how many times that person was shot? Was it multiple?
Again, we're still looking. It was multiple times.
Multiple.
This is probably not anything you can elaborate on, but how did you know who it was that you were looking for?
That information was developed moments after the shooting.
Were there other people in the house at the time of the shooting?
Yes.
Are they okay?
Yes.
What do you believe that this Mr. Williams was an intended target?
We're still looking into that.
Have you recovered any weapons at all?
That's why we're doing the search warrants.
Okay, so
We're
not
still
yet.
we're still looking to for evidence.
Do you expect any of them will be in court for arraignment anytime soon, or
I
is there a
believe
lot more legwork to do?
I believe they'll be arraigned tomorrow.
Yeah, all the folks that are under arrest now will be arraigned tomorrow.
Yeah. You had a couple of those schools in lockdown. At any time, do you think any of these suspects were near the schools at all, or?
No, I don't believe they were near it, but because of the close proximity, it was just, err on the side of caution, and we put the schools in lockdown.
And also the school administration building as well, because that's up in that general area as well. I mean, that was we knew the person was on foot, and we knew those places were definitely close by. And it's something that's a practice, that has been practiced with the elementary schools, actually under the direction of Captain Dunn. So they're very familiar when they get a call to do a lockdown, what that means, or a modified lockdown, what that means. Again, later in the day, we also did the Lawrence and the Mullen Hall School when everything shifted over to the Gifford Street address.
So this Davante Williams, a.k.a. Fernandez, is he the son of the victim?
I don't believe he is. I'm not sure what
Victim's
I'm
last
not
name
sure
is
what the
Williams.
relationship is.
Victim's last name is Williams. He, I believe, is his stepfather.
Okay.
And the relationship of the juvenile to the victim?
None.
And the
So it's a-
relationship of the juvenile to Mr. Fernandez?
Friends.
And out of these individuals that have been arrested, have any of them had serious offenses in the past?
I don't know without looking.
As I said, this thing has been unfolding, and the only reason we wanted to invite you folks in because you're obviously very persistent, but we wanted to get you all together and at least give you whatever we could at this
Yeah, no, we
point.
appreciate that.
No, so but like I said, we've got a lot of things still to do.
But the main suspect is Davante Williams for shooting his stepfather multiple times,
That's correct. Sure.
and the rest of it is sort of peripheral to that main.
Everybody, different people are involved, and
A lot of stuff running around
Yep.
here.
It's actually Davante Fernandes.
Fernandez. That's his
AKA
name.
Davante Williams, it says
He,
here in your release.
he uses that from time to time, I guess.
Okay.
Would each of you mind saying your name?
Pardon me?
Your names.
I'm not telling you my name. Captain Chris Mason is my name. No, that's State Police. Chief Anthony Riello, Falmouth Police.
And Captain Edward Dunn, D-U-N-N-E,
And that's with Falmouth Police.
Falmouth Police Department.
And I'm Captain Chris Mason with the State Police Detectives for the Cape and Islands District.
Done, D-U-N-N-E.
E.
But John.
And Mason with one S or two S's?
One S, sir.